Hey guys, what's going on? I'm back with another collection video type thing. Some of you may remember that not too long ago I showed these custom Pokemon Game Boy Color games. And these were really cool, and I really liked them, and I thought they were really nice quality compared to the other cheap, I guess, bootleg kind of Game Boy games that are out there. And I really liked those, so I went ahead from the same seller and bought some of his custom Game Boy Advance games. And I really like them, honestly. So I'm just going to kind of go through each one. I've got them off screen here. I'm going to go through them one at a time and just kind of talk about what they are and give my thoughts. So first, I do just want to mention here, the seller, Game Duck, actually sent me this box for free, which was pretty cool. This box goes with Pokemon Liquid Crystal here, which is really nice looking. And what Liquid Crystal is it is a GBA remake of Pokemon Crystal version, and it is really cool. This box is super high quality. There's no manual or anything, and if you look inside, there's no inserts or anything. It is just a completely empty box, but it is cool to put on the shelf and have it displayed. And he does do boxes for all of his games, but it makes the cost of them more expensive, so he sent me that one for free. But I did think it was really nice of him that he did that, and it is really cool. And if I could afford it, honestly, I would have got boxes for everything I ordered from him, but unfortunately, I don't really have that kind of money. But that's okay. Yeah, so his GBA releases are really nice. Honestly, they feel higher quality than these by far. These, you can tell, they're kind of light. They look nice, but they're really lightweight, and they do feel not official. But these Game Boy Advance cartridges totally do feel official, in my opinion. They feel just like you would expect them to, just like a normal GBA cartridge. So the first one here is Pokemon Liquid Crystal. It is a really cool kind of what if Pokemon Crystal got remade on the GBA instead of the DS, instead of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And I've played a little bit of it so far, and I do really like it. It kind of follows the Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red style, and I like that a lot about it. In comparison to another kind of Gen 2 reimagining that we have here, which is Pokemon GS Chronicles, which is another hack that takes place in Johto. This one, I'm not really feeling this one, especially when I have Liquid Crystal version, because this one, it's kind of weird looking. People were hyping this one a lot on YouTube, and that's kind of why I bought it. And the cartridge itself does look really nice. I love the blue and clear front and the shiny label, but the game itself, I'm not really sure if I like it. It uses assets from the Gen 4 games, which looks kind of weird because it's a GBA game, so they kind of crushed all those 3D assets and like made them 2D, and I just don't really think it looks that good. And also, I found out that it only has the first half of the Gen 2 games, which is Johto. You can't go to the Kanto region. So it's cool to have a physical copy of this one, but I don't really think I'll get super into it. And then next up here, now this one's kind of a sad story. This is Pokemon Glazed version. This is one of those ROM hacks that is a complete original region, and I love those kinds of hacks, especially ones like this that stick with the original Pokemon. It's a new region, but there's no fake Pokemon in it. It just uses Pokemon from Gens 1 through 4, which I really, really like. I'm not a big fan of fake Pokemon at all. I never actually play hacks with fake Pokemon because I don't think they look very cool or anything. But this cartridge is awesome, and it looks so nice with my pink DS Lite here. They were made for each other. But the sad thing about this one is, and this is to no fault of the guy who made these cartridges, I was in like the first kind of dungeon of the game, and I accidentally triggered a soft lock because I saved my game in this dungeon, and apparently it's kind of well known online that if you save your game in that first dungeon, there's a chance that you can kind of stop the necessary event at the end of the dungeon from happening, and I didn't realize that was a thing, and I got to the end of the dungeon, and I'll show the footage on screen, but there's supposed to be an event here at these ruins, and it's just not triggering, and I also can't leave the forest, so I'm gonna have to restart my game, which sucks because I'm gonna lose like that first hour of progress, and that's just not fun. I feel like I wasted a lot of time playing this, but I was really excited for it, and I do want to play it just because it is so cool having one of these completely original regions on its own physical cartridge. It just feels like a generation of Pokemon that we never got, and now it's here and it's real. But I'm gonna restart Pokemon Glazed and try it again, and remember not to save in that first area, but it just kind of sucks. You know, that's the thing with these hacks, is they're not professionally made or professionally tested, and sometimes, you know, bugs like that do go overlooked. But it is really cool at the end of the day that hacks like this even exist, because, you know, it makes the adventures in the Pokemon world just never ending, and I think that's really cool. Next up, we have Pokemon Orange Islands, and of course, the cartridge is orange and white, and that just looks so cool. This one is another one I'm really excited to play. It is basically a video game version of the second season of Pokemon, where Ash goes to the Orange Islands, which is a really cool season of Pokemon that they just kind of went wild with, and they created this unique region called the Orange Islands, and it was never featured in any games. And now we have a game where you can go to the Orange Islands, and you're playing as Ash, so you can only have Pokemon that Ash had in the TV show. But it's really cool because at the beginning of the game, you go to Professor Oak's lab, and you can choose what Pokemon of Ash's that you want to take with you on your adventure, which is really cool because in the show, you know, he just kind of had what Pokemon he had with him. But in this game, you can kind of be like, oh, I want to take Charizard, but I'll leave Oddish behind, you know. Sorry, Oddish. I really like Oddish, but, you know, you can kind of mix and match like that. And it's cool because you're kind of role-playing as Ash, but you get to explore the Orange Islands for yourself. And I'm really excited to get further into this one. So definitely glad I picked that one up. And the final game here is Pokemon Fire Red Rocket Edition. And now this is one, first of all, I gotta say the cartridge just looks beautiful. Honestly, this looks nicer than the actual Fire Red cartridge. I love the way this looks so much. It's so sparkly. I can literally see my reflection in it. You've got the Team Rocket grunt here that you play as. And this hack is just such a cool idea. So you're in, you know, the Gen 1 Kanto region, and you're playing as a Team Rocket member. And originally when I saw this hack, I was like, I don't know, you know, it's not an original location or anything, it's just Gen 1 again. I kind of thought it was going to be boring. I've played a little bit of it so far, and honestly, it's got its hooks in me. I think I'm going to see this one through to the end, because it's really cool. It's honestly really cool. Also, the dialogue is kind of funny sometimes, and also just kind of like not funny, like weird teenage boy humor, and there's like swearing and stuff, and it's really weird to see that in a Pokemon game, but it is a nice change of pace. It's definitely keeping me entertained. And so the way this game works is you're playing as a member of Team Rocket, and you're sent to go on missions around the first region of Pokemon, and you can't catch Pokemon in the wild. You have to battle other trainers, and at the point that I'm at in the game, the trainers that you steal Pokemon from can only be children or old people, and they said something about when you rise up in the ranks that might change, so I'll see if that happens or not. But right now, if I see an NPC that's like a little kid or an old person, I can battle them, and I can take one of their Pokemon if I win. And it's really cool because it leads to you kind of using Pokemon that you wouldn't use before. Like, you start out the game with a Rattata, and I don't think I've ever had a Rattata on my team in my life. I named him Mr. Mouse, and honestly, I've grown really attached to him at this point. But And then the second Pokemon I got was a Pidgey from a little girl. And then I fought an old man right before I started filming this, and you can choose only one Pokemon to take from them if they have more than one, and I chose to take his Bellsprout, and I don't think I've ever played through a Pokemon game with a Bellsprout either, so like, it's really cool, and it's forcing me like to think about Pokemon in a completely different way, and it is super unique, and I see why people were so into this game and why I was seeing so much of it on YouTube. But yeah, anyways, I'm really happy with this purchase, and thanks again to GameDuck for sending me this box for free. I don't know if you guys watched the last video, you might remember that he sent me one of the wrong games. I ordered Pokemon Prism for the Game Boy Color, and I got Pokemon Blue DX instead. I thought we reached an agreement where he was going to send me Pokemon Prism in this order, but he did not do that, unfortunately. I think there might have been a bit of a miscommunication, but that's not a huge deal. It's fine. It's not like I was ripped off or anything. I still technically got what I paid for. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with these Game Boy Advance games from GameDuck. Again, I'll put a link in the description to his Etsy store. Check him out if this looks interesting to you, but I'm super excited to go through these games, and honestly, coming off of Scarlet and Violet, which I thought were pretty disappointing, I am definitely looking forward to getting into some classic Pokemon here. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know which of these games looks the most interesting to you, and let me know which Pokemon hacks you would like to see on a physical cartridge, because there are a lot of really good hacks out there, and some of them I look for them on these physical cartridges, at least nicer looking ones. There are a lot of really cheap ones out there, and no one's making them. So let me know in the comments what noteworthy Pokemon ROM hacks you would like to see on a cartridge, and hopefully one day someone like GameDuck will make it for us. So anyways, guys, thank you again for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.